Take your time, Kilo. Show's about to start. Don't worry about the hardware. It's just a, precaution.
Hey guys, what's up? Jimmy here with another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you guys Syndicate. Now this is a first-person shooter set in the future. I'm really looking forward to telling you guys all about it and if it's worth your time, if it's worth your money. I hope you enjoy this review. So in the Syndicate single-player campaign, you play as Miles Kilo, who is an agent for the Eurocorp. In the future, corporations and technology rule the world. And as Kilo, you enter these missions obtaining new applications, new weapons, and new intel. And at every turn, opposing corporate forces will be there to make sure that Kilo is not successful. Now, some of you might be wondering what is one of the main differences to Syndicate when compared with a lot of the other first-person shooters that are out there. Well, I'll tell you, in Syndicate, you have to do a lot more than just run, shoot, and dodge. In Syndicate, you have apps at your disposal to use against the enemy. Now, these apps involve having the enemy to commit suicide and maybe drop a grenade to take himself and his squad out. Another app that you can use involves hacking into the enemy system and persuading him to go against his squad. Say there's a squad there, you can hack into that person's system, hack into his technology, because the characters in the game all have a chip implanted in their system, and you can make them do certain things, like persuade them to go against your squad and essentially be a part of your team for a limited period of time. And now there's one more app that you'll have to use throughout the game a lot. One app that I haven't mentioned yet that you'll have to use quite often, and that involves taking down the enemy's armor. Oftentimes, the enemy will have strong armor, and you'll have to use this app to break down the enemy's armor, so ultimately you can take that enemy down. So throughout the game, you'll have the opportunity to choose which abilities to use in the game. And choosing these abilities, you'll gain new technology, new dart chips, and you'll get to, in fact, there'll be like a tree or a setup for which new abilities you want to select. Now, this would have been great if, in terms of replayability, you're like, oh, maybe I'll use these abilities for the next time I play around. That would have been great if the single-player campaign, was worth playing. Unfortunately, the single-player campaign is weak and uninspired. Now, the controls are great and work flawlessly. The music works well with the futuristic setting. And besides the occasional excessive lighting, the visuals in Syndicate are not bad. But the actual story is just boring and has little substance to it. In the campaign, you will collect pages upon pages of data in regard to the systems, organizations, and associates within the game. This data, for the most part, is just lifeless data that does not enhance the enjoyment of the story. So as I was playing through the single-player campaign for Syndicate, one thing came on my mind, and that was Bargain Bin. This game screams clearance rack. If you see this game, if you are interested only in the single-player campaign, you're not interested in the multiplayer or the co-op, wait for this game to hit a price drop. If this game is around $10, $15, you see it down the road for that price, yeah, pick it up. But please don't pay the full price for this game. It's just not worth it for the single player only. Now, fortunately, there is more than just the single player campaign. There is a decent 4-player co-op mode in Syndicate that I thought was pretty good at times. You play throughout these several missions with up to 3 of your friends or 3 randoms, whichever path you want to go. And these levels are done really well. I actually enjoyed playing them a lot more than playing through the levels in the single-player campaign. You have certain objectives that you need to obtain, and this 4-player co-op experience was fun at times in the terms that not only do you have to worry about taking down the opposing forces, obtaining certain mission objectives, but also you have the ability to heal your teammates when they're in a bind. Oftentimes, you'll be the opposing force, and your teammates will be healing you, and oftentimes on the other side of the area or other side of the map, your teammate might be taking damage, but before you can even get to him, you can actually heal that teammate before you even get there. And I actually really enjoyed this. It was very decent at times. There are, in my opinion, the way that this is marketed, 4-player co-op, this game is marketed, I have to tell you though, guys, there are other 4-player co-op games that, co-op is not new, and in my opinion, there are other co-op games out there that do it better than Syndicate, in my opinion, like Left 4 Dead 2, but that's not to say you won't have fun. This is a different setting. This is a little bit different than like Left 4 Dead 2 or some of the other co-op games out there, but in my opinion, like I said, the single player is a bit weak, and to pay for the $60 is kind of a high price to pay for this decent and sometimes really fun co-op experience. But overall, I believe there is a demo for the online co-op, and if it is still up, I would definitely give it a shot, give it a try, and see what you think for yourself. So guys, my final rating for Syndicate is a 7 out of 10. As mentioned earlier, it has a bland and uninspired single-player campaign with a decent 4-player co-op multiplayer. It is a decent game, but if you are only interested in the single-player, wait for a price drop. And as I mentioned earlier, there are other games that do co-op a lot better than Syndicate. The co-op is good, but it's not the best that you can find out there that's available for consoles and the PC. There are other options, better options in my opinion, and you can actually pick them up for a lot less than $60. Anyway, guys, there's my review for Syndicate. Any comments or questions about this game, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.